In a small village nestled among peaceful mountains, there lived a young man named Marco, 24 years old. Though still young, his heart was heavy with sorrow and anxiety. Day after day, his mind spun endlessly, recalling past mistakes and worrying about things yet to come. Those streams of thoughts followed one another like a relentless storm in his mind, never ceasing. Each passing day, Marco felt exhausted. He could not sleep well, could not concentrate, and the smile gradually vanished from his once bright face. Within him always lingered a sense of emptiness and fatigue, as if something was slowly taking away the joy of living. No matter how hard he tried, Marco could not find the peace he longed for. Occasionally, he would sit silently, gazing into the distance, trying to understand why his mind was so restless. He wondered, why can't I live lightly like others? Why is my heart always full of unease? That question echoed in his mind, causing Marco to become increasingly lost amidst a tangle of overlapping thoughts. And it was precisely in that despair that his journey to seek true inner peace began. The unrest in Marco's mind was like a continuous storm. He could not feel calm, sleep became fragmented, and his smile gradually disappeared. One day, Marco heard about a distant village on the hills where a wise old man lived. It was said that he had once been a famous psychologist in the city, helping many people find serenity in their hearts. The old man had abandoned the hectic urban life to live amidst tranquil nature. Despite his age, he often offered valuable advice to visiting guests. This news sparked curiosity and hope in Marco. He thought perhaps the old man could help him find the peace he sought. With determination, Marco began a long and tiring journey to the hilltop village. Though the path was arduous, he did not mind, for in his mind, the hope of finding peace had become his most important goal. This journey marked a turning point, opening the opportunity to change Marco's life. Finally, after days of exhausting walking along winding paths, Marco reached the hilltop village. Before him stood a small house covered in greenery, radiating peace and calm. On the porch, the wise old man sat in meditation, eyes closed, appearing serene and tranquil. The scene gave Marco a gentle energy, unlike the chaos and noise that had long occupied his mind. Marco stepped closer, bowed slightly, and said, "Sir, my mind is always restless. Thoughts never stop. I want to find peace within myself. Can you help me?" The old man slowly opened his eyes, his gaze gentle, a kind smile appearing on his face. Unhurriedly, he replied, "You are seeking peace, aren't you? Come with me. I will give you a small task." He led Marco to a small courtyard in front of the house, where he filled a glass to the brim with water so that even the slightest vibration would spill it. He handed the glass to Marco and said, "Walk from here to the edge of the village and back, but don't let a single drop fall." Marco was surprised but agreed, determined to carry out the lesson given. In that moment, he began to realize that peace could come from simple actions when he fully focused on the present. Carefully holding the glass, Marco began walking along the narrow path to the village edge. Along the way, everything was lively. Villagers moving about, shopkeepers calling out, dogs barking everywhere. Despite the noise and bustle, Marco remained undistracted. He focused solely on the glass, stepping slowly and carefully, afraid that the smallest mistake would spill the water. Everyone passing by was amazed to see Marco walking with such seriousness and complete concentration. No one disturbed him, recognizing that he was learning something important. Every step, every movement was filled with attention and patience. After a long walk, Marco finally returned to the old man, the water intact, not a single drop spilled. He felt proud for completing the challenge, but also realized he had missed everything around him. Children playing by the road, birds singing, dogs barking. All he noticed was the glass. The old man smiled and explained that this was the secret of peace. When the mind is fully focused on the present, all worries about the past or future vanish. Marco began to understand that calm and serenity are not found outside but exist within each person, waiting to be awakened through mindfulness and living in the present moment. When Marco placed the glass back on the table, the old man looked at him kindly and asked, "Did you notice the children playing or hear the dogs barking?" Marco replied in surprise, "No, I only focused on the glass." The old man smiled gently and explained, "That is the secret. When your mind is fully present in this moment, there is no room for fear, worry, or extra thoughts. When you focus only on the glass, your mind becomes peaceful. You are no longer sad about the past or anxious about the future." Marco gradually grasped the profound message. Peace is not something found outside, but always exists within each person when we learn to live fully in the present. Mindfulness and awareness of the present moment are the keys to freeing the mind from worries and anxieties. He bowed his head, reflecting, and said, "Now I understand. If I want calm within my heart, I must keep my mind in the present moment. Then true peace will appear." The old man nodded with a smile. The afternoon sun shining on the courtyard, birds returning to their nests. Marco began his journey home, but now he was different. No longer restless or troubled, he felt inner peace, knowing that by living fully in each moment, the mind could find the serenity he had longed for. After completing the task, Marco felt a profound change in his soul. He realized that peace is not something to be found externally, but always exists within each person, waiting to be awakened when the mind lives fully in the present. Mindfulness of the present moment helps eliminate fear, worries, and unnecessary thoughts. Marco bowed and thanked the old man. "I understand. If I want a calm mind, I must live and focus on each moment. Only then will true peace appear." The old man smiled gently, watching the sunlight illuminate the courtyard, listening to the birds return to their nests. When returning home, Marco was no longer the anxious and worried young man he once was. He walked with serenity, carrying the valuable lesson of focus and living in the present. From now on, he knew how to listen to his soul, finding joy and true peace in every moment of life. This was the transformation Marco had always longed for, a peace that comes from within himself.